Look, the worst part of waking up as a female is realizing how disgusting men are. Like, in other words, who made them so awful? Those aliens, those gray aliens, maybe had some help with the, reptilians. But God, look, this is something I haven't really thought about for a while. It was brought to my attention and it kind of brought up some stuff for me. So, someone said to me, I like to hold the door open for women because I can watch them go through, like watch their ass, right? And I get that. You know, I was very honest and I've heard it a billion times before because I used to work in the industry for gentlemen, and they like to tell you things like that. They like to be honest to people that, to females that don't matter to them that much. But that's actually where I learned a lot about men and how despicable they are. But today I caught some male checking me out when I turned around. Well, first I could sense something, and then when I turned around, he was looking at my ass. And, there's nothing wrong with checking people out, but women and men do it so differently, you know? And it was like knowing the person even just a little bit, because I really didn't know him that well. A little bit of information about him, and then watching how the person did it was like, it was kind of disappointing, to be honest with you, because it first reminded me of that perception, and I've been kind of disconnected from that for a while, until that one person brought up the walking through the door thing. Men don't think very highly of women, and I've been told that by men. And not just gay men or men that are, you know, more on the feminine side, by men. They don't think very highly of women. They respect men more than they do women. And it shows. It shows a lot. But you would think at this time frame that things would be getting better in that regard. But I think what ended up happening is somehow the straight narcissistic men got left behind, along with the straight narcissistic feminines that are really men disguised as women, disguised as men, disguised as women, whatever. Either way, it's just not. I never cared for women that protected men like that. I always thought it was sad that they would even do it. But, women are loyal to an extent when it comes to someone that they care about. And it kind of makes sense. But I just never liked it. Especially the more aware you become, the more you realize how much you are controlled. And it's really sad that that's still happening, that we are where we are 2025, and on some levels, we just really haven't developed. And there are huge populations of people like that, you know. I feel bad that there are a lot of people stuck in that mindset. But I also blame it on mind control, programming, literally programs. Um, there's so many levels of perception when it comes to all this, and it's mind boggling, really. But it just seems like we should be so much further along in that regard. And instead of putting all this energy into things that don't fucking matter, why are we not putting this energy into uh, teaching children how to be better people? You know, that should be the most important thing. And I'm not saying better people so they can be better workers and stupid shit like that. I mean, like, really, like, that should be the most important thing. But you gotta be a better person to be able to show your child how to be like that. And a lot of us don't know. We're very stunted in that way. And it was almost like some of us knew it at one time, were more aware of certain things at one time, and then it was kind of like taken away for a while, and it comes back and then it's taken away. And so the point is, like, you know, they say there's like a separation and stuff like that, but I still feel like a lot of those people that believe in that stuff are still very fearful and still very controlled mentally in their beliefs. In order to do something completely different, you have to release it all. You have to completely let go of every preconceived conception of what you thought everything was about. Because everything that you've been given has been to live here and nothing else. And if you think, well, this is all there is, and you know, you're that kind of person, I've never been able to connect with that. It's very hard for me to understand that perception. But if you're one of those people, then that would hold you back because you really believe in this world to a point of minimal evolution, minimal awareness, minimal intelligence, because that's real intelligence. And I just, you know, the more aware I become, the less it's easy to understand it. And even though I've been in a lot of those perceptions, over time it becomes it less and less makes sense, you know. And when people bring things up to me, like in my everyday life, I forget where people are. Like, it's, you know, it's kind of hard to see people stuck in that. It's very strange.